Hey guys, Useless here, and the Blockbusters might be dead. Now, I've made two other videos talking about the state of the film industry, and in those videos I examined Tenet and Mulan. I said that these two movies were going to be what would determine the fate of the film industry. And if I'm right about that, then things aren't looking too good. The reason why I chose Tenet to examine was because Warner Brothers attempted to rejuvenate the movie theater industry with that film. And it just didn't do that. As of recording this video, Tenet has made $284.9 million. Now, hey, I would like to have $284.9 million, but that's actually bad for a movie like Tenet, which reportedly needs $800 million just to break even. Although, honestly, I feel like that sounds like ridiculously high. I feel like the break even point is probably around $600 million, but either way, the 284.9 million just simply isn't enough. In fact, it's bombing pretty badly. It is important to note, however, that its run isn't over. Maybe once the film is able to open in more theaters, it will have some sort of resurgence. I'm just not really sure that that's how the market will respond. Will people still be excited for it, or will they just see it as old news? Generally speaking, a movie will build up its hype over the course of a marketing campaign, and then a movie will make most of its money during its opening weekend, but maybe Tenet will just have this slow burn effect and just continue to gradually make money as it opens up in more and more places. That is an idea that I brought up in my other video, and it's one that we could very well still see happen. Now, to go back a bit, I also talked about Mulan, and I talked about Mulan because Disney basically wanted to see if they could get away with releasing a huge blockbuster on its streaming service and not in theaters. And it looks like they weren't quite able to. Now, the annoying thing about Mulan is that there's no system set in place to track how much money it's made because it was released straight onto Disney Plus. So it's not like the box office where this stuff is tracked. We honestly don't know for sure how much it's made. Analysts have estimated that it's made around $90 million in its first 12 days. However, this apparently is only including people who already owned Disney Plus that bought Mulan. This apparently doesn't include people who got Disney Plus just to watch Mulan. So, in actuality, this number could be way higher. It's also important to note that Disney Plus still isn't available everywhere worldwide. Maybe if it had been given a worldwide Disney Plus premium release, maybe it would have made even more money. We don't really know. But honestly, given the circumstances, this isn't a terrible launch. I mean, 90 plus $1 million? That's really not bad. The thing is, however, that I haven't really been able to find any information about how well it's done after its first 12 days. Like, nothing, from Disney themselves, and nothing about, analysts, estimating how much money it's made. I just haven't been able to find anything. However, there is one thing that kind of makes me think that Disney, at the end of the day, wasn't too impressed with how Mulan did. And that's because Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, Eternals, West Side Story, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness all got massive delays. Obviously, we don't know anything for sure, but this just kind of tells me that Disney wasn't too satisfied with Mulan. They are, at least publicly, committed to theatrical releases for these films. And by the way, it's not just Disney. Movies like No Time to Die, Wonder Woman 84, and Top Gun have also been delayed. I honestly feel like if Mulan was like this massive success, then we would have seen at least some of these movies been given the similar treatment, but Disney is committing to theatrical releases. So, obviously, I can't say for sure, but it at least seems like Mulan wasn't a massive success, or at the very least, it wasn't as big as it maybe would have been in a pre COVID world. So, you might be asking, well, what does this have to do with blockbusters being dead, man? Well, my dear viewer, I don't know if movie theaters will be able to last the wait for these movies to come out. As much as studios are struggling right now, movie theaters are struggling more so. They are on the brink of going bankrupt and they need these movies to come out, to bring audiences. And don't get it twisted, movie studios also need the theaters, or at least they desperately want them to get the big numbers that they got in the pre-COVID world. All signs are pointing to movies like Trolls World Tour, Scoob, and Mulan just not doing the numbers that these studios wanted them to do. And again, I think we would have gotten some of these movies, even from other studios, not just Disney, going straight to PVOD if these movies were massive successes. And I ask, if theaters go under, how exactly are studios going to pay for these huge blockbusters? Studios will spend 150 million plus dollars on a big movie because the studio or the theater system has proven that they can make that money back and then some. That doesn't appear to be the case with PVOD. I don't think we'll be getting the Infinity Wars and the No Time to Dies without theaters. I mean, we could live in a world where the MCU exists merely in Disney Plus shows or movies but with dramatically reduced budgets. We've been asking ourselves if the MCU would build up to another Infinity War-esque Avengers movie again. But honestly, they might not even have a choice. So, yeah, what do you think about all this? Am I being too much of a doomer here? Do you think that theaters will be fine? Do you think that PVOD will be able to sustain these big blockbusters? I just really want to know exactly how much money Mulan has made. I think that information will allow us to draw a much clearer picture on all of this. But unfortunately, Disney is keeping that information really close to the chest. Is that a bad sign? Let me know in the comments below, and bye.